RePsychled podcast, where we discuss everyday issues from a mental health perspective. We are your hosts, Dr. Rashonda Strickland,
Dr. LaFanya Jones-Hines,
and Dr. Michelle Wall. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not going to be your stereotypical therapist.
What we will be is informative, down to earth, a little spicy, and vulnerable.
All right, interns, turn up your volume, grab your pen and paper. It's supervision time. As a reminder, this podcast is not meant to take the place of a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. Welcome back, y'all, to another Disc Broad session.
Yes, well, I'm excited about this.
Yes, I love the lives.
I like the Disc Broads because we get to just be free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and just talk.
Yep, we do.
Dr. Jones, can you rotate your camera a little bit so they get more than my bun?
I need to rotate it completely because we sideways.
We having technical difficulties up in here today, guys.
So give us just a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and try and rotate us so y'all don't have to look at us sideways. So just give me a minute.
Well, we hope y'all are doing splendidly this afternoon or / evening, depending upon where you at.
Okay, so
in the U.S.
Yeah.
How was that?
Or even our foreign folks.
We do got people everywhere.
Is that better?
It's going to take a second to catch up. So, as y'all know, the Disc Broad sessions are, just ones where we get a chance to just be ourselves, talk. No, there's no real format for these. And since it's live, we're going to really get lit out here. Let me find my glass for our libations today. So what we drinking on today, guys?
So we have some Stella Rosa today, as per usual, and we have the blueberry and the peach.
Which I want to start with.
Let's try peach. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this.
We having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know, because
for real today.
I don't know what is going on with this, because it did not do this the last time.
They just don't love us today. It's okay, though. It's okay.
You really try to be out here doing right, doing the best.
Drinking your water. I mean, this is wine. So that's not what I'm saying. So for everybody that's already in, go ahead and if there are specific things that you want us to talk about or discuss, go ahead and let us know those things so that we can go ahead and, be getting it together in our brains.
Let's get your glass.
Okay.
The little pass.
I'm going to put this one over here.
Pass it on the left-hand side.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So we are aware, guys, that the screen is rotated. We're trying to figure out why this go round everything is not recording in the correct direction like it was recording previously. Again, technology. You gotta love technology.
Gotta love it.
Because it don't love you.
Look at this. Y'all see this? Y'all see this right here? What is going on?
You don't know.
But if it is rotated on anybody's screen, just rotate your phone.
Mm-hmm.
While we try to get our lives together.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you can see us and hear us, that is the important.
I'm sorry, I couldn't
wait. She's struggling, y'all.
I couldn't wait. Sorry, guys.
Dr. Walt?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you were in the camera because we don't have to switch it.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
So, I didn't talk to the ladies about this, but I know them well enough to know that they won't mind. I do want to take the time to dedicate this particular session of This Broad to my brother because it is Suicide Awareness Month, and he did choose no longer to be here this year, and so it's been about 5 months since his passing, and my family did have like a big celebration last weekend. But I want to give a shout out to all of his babies, his partner, and my brother's name is Brandon Reed. So I love you, little brother.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
No, we don't mind that at all.
That part.
At all.
So can you all hear us okay?
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, if we're coming in clear. I know a lot of our folks be on Facebook, so we only be having 1 or 2 or 3 people on IG, but we always want to make sure we include folks.
So like, thumbs up.
Okay,
we coming. We got it.
Okay.
We see it.
Like, we here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what is on our agenda? So who has the first kind of thing that y'all want to throw out there?
So I was thinking about this. This is news-wise, and I think something that we should definitely talk about, because we really haven't discussed a lot of sexual topics or anything like that, is the recent trial with now convicted, found guilty, Robert Kelly.
Yes.
And just how that is definitely going to impact, the entire music world. Growing up and you listening to music differently that he done put out there, you're like, oh, okay, he was talking about this person. And also the fact that this is a known perpetrator that has done this for the better part of, 20-something years or so?
Something along those lines, absolutely.
And so, he was convicted today of all counts of everything. So that's a lot. And it is going to be a huge, musical hit, because he is one of our greats as far as musical. But that don't excuse him from any of the things that he has done to anybody. I always conceptualize it from the Aaliyah situation. And a lot of people that don't know me don't know this. I actually got to meet Aaliyah, and I'm used to be a dancer. I'm still a dancer, but I'm not doing it professionally or nothing like that.
Yeah.
So to know how wonderful and beautiful of a person she was at the time that I met her, but also that she is part of his story. And it came out that he had started to groom her and be intimate with her when she was 13.
Oh, wow.
And married her when she was 15. And so that is something that we often see in counseling, is stuff like this happens all the time in family systems, and people protect the perpetrator instead of protecting the victim that eventually becomes a survivor. And so, what are y'all's thoughts about, that family system that, or, whatever system that protects the perpetrator instead of protecting the victim?
I see this to a lot of my clients, that denial's a hell of a drug. And when we love somebody, when we care about them, we want to believe, the best about them.
Yeah.
Even despite knowing that they engage in heinous acts, things that are hurtful, painful to a lot of people. Self-deception and lying to ourselves is one of the ways that we try to work through that.
Yeah.
So that's how you end up having these generational issues where, uncle this or aunt such and such, it just, no one deals with that person, and everyone says, oh, no, don't leave your kids with such and such. Because calling that person out, it just ends up being too much. So it's easier to just deny it and move forward.
Yeah.
And just to add on, I think because, like you said, the Aura made some very great music.
Yeah.
A lot of babies was born and, made to his music. But, and so we hate to hear that that's the stuff that you was actually possibly even writing about. Because, we've been bumping to that. You know, age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah.
You know.
But that has a whole other meaning now.
Right.
Or the song
Seems like you're ready.
Seems like you're ready.
Right.
My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me, like, it's all these songs that you like. I can't, for me personally, I'm talking about me personally, I can't in good conscience listen to this music anymore, because what I look like being an ally for different communities, being a survivor myself, and I'm out here perpetuating the cycle of listening to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if a lot of these were confession songs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that they were just kind of wrapped up
Kind
in.
of like serial killers do.
Mm-hmm.
When they put their stuff in that. Well, these don't happen no more in the won't ass. I'm aging myself. But they used to put them in different ads and stuff like that, how they had hurt somebody. And that's, back in the day, that's how they found some of the serial killers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because again, if you go back and listen to a lot of these lyrics, they have these very overt messages in them, but because it was wrapped up in a nice beat, a good melody, and he can sing fairly well, it gets overlooked.
And it's grown folk music, because we thinking it's grown folk music, even though I was listening to them when I was in high school.
I mean, we all were.
You know, it was still grown folk music.
The 5 first CDs I got when CD players came out was 12 play.
Well, you gotta think, like, our parents was in the 60s and 70s, so this is like child's play.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't nothing major at the time, but as we become like more knowledgeable and more aware of things, we like, oh, okay, this is not an appropriate thing to be perpetuating, continuing on. Like, it becomes a problem. And sometimes we have to check our behaviors and be like, am I adding to the problem, or am I helping with the solution?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it's just sad to, I mean, it's definitely sad to know that he's getting ready to, you know, have to serve time for all of this, but it's also sad because these young ladies were, well, little girls too, were put in these situations to be prey for him.
And more than him really need to be held accountable. Like, as a former CPS worker, I'm like, your parents need to go, because that's child endangerment. You participated in a whole bunch of stuff, and people took buyouts. People, I mean, it's just it's a
spider web.
Yeah,
you know, it's definitely or a ripple effect. You know,
it's like Enron back in the day.
Oh, man, she aging us real bad up in
It's
here.
not even young. I'm still young.
You're older than all of us.
Ooh, Lord.
I'm still young.
Jesus Christ. But, you know, it's a ripple effect. You know, like, he's just the beginning, and then all of these other industries, people are touched. And it makes me wonder about, like, what's going to be the legacy of so many other people outside of just him.
Yeah, it's like classic. The whole Ron Isley and him stuff, and the in the closet stuff. Charlie Wilson. You got the song that everybody loves, and the remake of Sparkle Can't Fly With One Wing. Like, that song is beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's like, he wrote that. Like, he is the musical, I can't remember if it was the producer or musical director or whatever, for the entire remake of Sparkle.
But my thing is, it's going to be a lot of people whose songs not going to be played, because he wrote a lot of music.
Yeah, produced a lot, wrote a lot, was featured in a lot.
I know when B2K, not that I'm a fan like that, but I know when B2K toured the last time right before the Panini press, they didn't play any of the songs that he did. They chose to take them off the roster of their show. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, man. It's hard because it's not impossible, but it's any music like from the early 2000s and maybe the early 90s, you know, between those two, maybe 20 years or so, it's almost impossible to tease out his influence.
Yeah.
You know, musically, songwriting wise, you know, he's so tied into all of this that there's stuff that we don't even know that he's a part of that he's actually a part of.
Right.
And it taints it. You know, you think about your childhood and enjoying these songs, and
one of my joints was "You Remind Me of Your G, I Wanna."
Yeah,
but it's like
a dance song,
right? Yeah,
but I wonder, like, so what y'all gonna do?
One of my joints was sorry, y'all.
You remind me of your G, I Wanna. Y'all don't sing
we told y'all today we don't know what's going on. I don't know, is Mercury in retrograde today? Because
yes,
we are having some major difficulties today.
But what y'all gonna do when he start writing songs from jail? Because y'all know that's what's coming. Because he gonna be writing jail songs. Because he's serving his time, we can't listen, even though he's serving his time.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a personal decision. Okay. Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't think everybody gonna follow through with what I'm doing.
Right.
And I don't expect everybody to, because how you convicted about things is how you convicted about things. But when you somebody who is helping your clients through the trenches, and you know how abuse and assault has affected them, I just can't in good conscience sit up and listen to the music and be like, oh, this is just music. No.
So then what are y'all's thoughts, because you hear this a lot online about separating the man from the art. Mm-hmm. Do you guys think that, because there's a lot, this is not just an R. Kelly specific issue. Mm-hmm. He's probably the most modern day version of all of this.
Yeah.
But you think about people that have engaged in other acts of violence against people, spousal abuse, the types of things that he was engaged in. Yeah. This is not new to the entertainment world. So do you guys think that there is credence to the idea that you can separate the person from the art?
Hold on before you answer that. Of course, Dante says Down Low was my joint.
Of course. I would say there is a possibility to definitely separate the man from the art. The problem becomes the content. You get what I'm saying? Like, the content that I'm listening to is about children and people that were essentially in a sex cult.
Yeah.
When you don't have no permission to go nowhere and you can't do nothing of your own free will, you in a whole cult situation now. Mm-hmm. That's the problem, because I know tons of people who still continue to watch the Cosby Show and a different world, and the content is a bit different. So I can understand that. I'm not saying you gotta, every situation is the same, but you do have to realize that money does go back into their pockets, though, because they own that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you can do that to a certain extent. I do agree with Dr. Wall saying that the content makes him enmeshed with the man and the music. So because it enmeshes it because of the content of the lyrics of the songs, then it's like, well, when you was writing this, were you the man and the musician, or were you just the man writing about your demons?
Which I lean towards that because of like the confessional nature of the lyrics in the songs,
and that's just who he is,
right? Because you think of someone like Elvis Presley, who was known for being, racist, but people continue to enjoy
still
to this day his content.
It's stolen content.
They shuts the whole Elvis Presley, and they shuts that whole street down. That's right there by his house. Mm-hmm. I used to work on Elvis Presley. They shuts the whole street down during Elvis Presley week.
See the whole
and sleep in the street. They used to. I don't know if they still do because I haven't been home in a while, but they sleep in the street.
Well, for all my family, because my people from Tennessee, like Dr. Jones Hines, we already know that's one of the more racist states. That ain't gonna change no time soon. But I think you just have to ask yourself, where does your integrity lie? Yeah. So, like, if you have a belief, but your belief don't have no actions, is it really a belief?
Yeah.
Or you just thought about something?
I would say he probably just thought about something.
Or are you just religious?
Ooh.
Dr. Mo, why is your face like that?
I mean, you know, that was one of the hot topics from the interns last time, talking about different things with the church and how the church be and stuff like that. So I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know if we're ready for what's going to happen to the music industry because of this.
Yeah. What do you all think, interns? What y'all think?
Yeah, we're definitely interested to hear y'all's thoughts about it. Because this affects y'all too.
Yes, if you're just now coming in, you know, we're talking about the ARA, Robert Kelly, and his recent, I don't know if he was he sentenced?
he was convicted.
Okay.
He hasn't been sentenced.
And his recent conviction. So tell us what you think.
You know, I'll be interested to see, like, you know, sometimes they make examples out of people. You know, like Harvey Weinstein was an example. It seems like R. Kelly's being made into an example. Now, this is not to say that they're the convictions are not justified. That's not what I mean. But, you know, they tend to go hard once they find somebody. They go hard on that person. So I'm wondering, you know, what is going to be the impact long term, if any, on the entertainment world and how they protect artists, protect actors, and things like that.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of clauses is going to be in the contracts now. Because, you know, once something happened, and you know, R. Kelly is a big name for something like this to happen. I don't want to say to him because he did this to himself. But I'll just say,
him to get this type of conviction.
Yeah, for him to get this type of conviction, you know, this is how new policies and procedures come about because something like this happens. So now I need to make sure I'm protected. Because, as you were saying earlier, a lot of other people knew about this. Famous people that did not protect these young ladies either. So it's like, now how are they going to protect themselves from not being convicted?
Ladies and men.
Yes.
Ladies and men. So, it's heavy, y'all.
It is a heavy topic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's also when you grow up listening to somebody, it also hurts your childhood a little bit. Not like you didn't have a good childhood if you did, but it's kind of like, dang,
it taints
it. It taints it.
Mm-hmm.
It colors it in a different light, and that's something I think we all have to be a little bit more intentional about processing, and understanding, and all of that.
And I just wonder, like, all of the people who considered him their idol or their role model, like, man, how devastated they have been since this. I would even say since the Aaliyah information came out. So,
and that makes me wonder, like, hearing you say that, like, in a general sense, about recognizing people's humanness. Because when you have, and I've heard this before, like when you have a role model or somebody that you look up to, you put them on a pedestal and almost deify them in a way. So then when they make mistakes and you see their humanness, it can, like, it makes you question your own self in some ways. So thinking about, you know, just what you were saying, like all the people that put him as their, like, you know, influence and the reason that they're in the music industry, like now that they know this information, what does that do to them and how they think about themselves?
That's a really good question. Because I know, y'all know I love Janet Jackson. Miss Jackson if you're nasty. So I absolutely love her. And she has been my dancing role model since I could move my legs. so if something like this were to come out about her, I would be crushed. Like, I would probably be so crushed I would cry. Because, you know, of course I consider her to be a phenomenal performer and even better dancer. So because that's the path that I was on for a while, like that would devastate me.
Yeah. It'll be a grieving process for some people.
Yeah.
You know, as my grandfather would say, some people think fat meat ain't greasy.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be one of them situations. Oh, he's convicted now, so that's the proof. Which, you know, I think that's weird considering how many innocent people are actually in prison and jail. So, some people won't. They'll be like, he's still innocent.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, that's how you feel. That's how you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Man, that's a hard one.
Yeah, we can go on and on about this topic.
I know, we really could all day long.
But we're not going to be depressed on the live.
So, switching gears a little bit with that then. Thank you for that segue, Dr. Jones. One thing that I was wondering about is, so if you follow like blog sites and stuff like that, now I'm going to forget this young lady's name and I apologize, but recently there was a post, I believe it was on the Shade Room, where MoneyBagg Yo's girlfriend, Ari, purchased 28 acres of land for him in his hometown.
Yes. I said, where is my Boaz?
Okay.
Where is he at? I mean, I'm not going to purchase you. I mean, if you gave me the money to buy it for you, then I will buy it for you. Because the way my bank account is set up, you know, I got to check my savings. But I thought that was so beautiful. I'm seeing more and more of that in the black and brown community. People buying folks quadruplex and land and, you know, taking a stake in the land that we live in instead of just being a renter. Because even when you buy a house, you still renting it.
True.
Because everybody don't own the property. Like it's not like it's set up like it was back in the day where when this yours, I settled it, it's mine.
Right.
It's a little bit different now.
Yeah. So it's so funny because when I saw this, I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. But then, you know, as you hear other people's opinions and other, you know, things, I believe it was on The Real.
Okay.
Fancy. Gracielle, I cannot think of her first. Bouvet. Sorry. But
Chocolate woman.
Yeah, she played Fancy on Jane Fox show.
Oh.
Part of her commentary was on, like, you're not married to this person, so you know what is the reason for the investment?
Well, what does that have to do with anything? It's in his name. If I bought you a cake, I'm not gonna get it out your intestines.
Okay, hang up the lie.
I'm just saying, like,
as my people say, where's my hang up button?
I was not expecting that.
I'm just saying, like, that's a stupid. And she can take this how she wants to. This our live. I feel like that's a stupid correlation. Like, if she's expecting to get something out of what she gave him, then she shouldn't have bought it. If you giving gifts, give them, because I'm pretty sure this man done bought her a whole specially custom, expensive car that was specific color that she wanted. Like they do that for each other. Yeah. You know, of course, a car depreciates as soon as it comes off the lot. Land don't do that unless something wrong with it. You know.
True. Yeah. I do. So I had two thoughts. Initially, I was like, "Oh, that's a lot for a girlfriend to give a boyfriend." But then I was like, "Let me count my pockets." And you know, stay in my financial lane. So as I got to thinking about it, then I kind of started leaning more that direction. Financially, if this is not something that is, you know, a detriment to her, then what really is the problem? Yeah. You know, if it, like you said, if it's going to build generational wealth, if this is something he can then pass on to his children, if he can build, you know, let's say he decided to build a community center or a school or something on this land, like it has the potential to grow and reach a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think it's also looking at the world from a very patriarchal society. Like, how do we know they want to marry each other? Like,
well, that's what I was getting ready to say.
know,
I wonder if that's the standpoint she's coming from, because it's, you know, how society says, well, don't give him the milk he won't, you know, whatever.
Or why you can get the cow for free.
Yeah. So it's like, well, why, if you're doing all of this as his girlfriend, then what incentive does he have to marry you? And so that, I wonder if that's the stance she was coming from, because I don't know this couple, so I
Well, I mean, they in the hip hop industry, so the likelihood of them getting married quickly has already left.
How long have they been dating?
Years.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, they've been together for a while. They already have kids and other relationships. So this is not. First of all, this their business, but we commenting on it. We giving our opinion and also our psychological experience.
Yes.
It doesn't really make any sense to look at it like that. Now, if you somebody close to them and you know that your friend is saying she wants to be married and she wants certain things, then yeah, you go and you have a conversation with them. It's like, okay, hey, sis, you out here buying 28.8 acres. Like,
yeah.
Hey, you okay with this? Like,
right.
do you feel like you're doing too much? You're not doing too much? If she say no, you say, okay, I got your back, girl. Whatever you need, because it's your money. I'm just your friend.
Right.
So we have a few comments. We have one from Dante who says, investing in your mate is great if it's not for show. I can't wait to build an empire with my soulmate. I know that's right.
Okay.
Mr. Wade.
Claim it. They said if you name it.
And claim it.
There you go.
But we gonna have to make sure we all check your soulmate out, your romantic soulmate, because we gotta make sure she good for you.
Yes. Agreed. But I also agree with your statement too, Dante. I do think that if you are doing something genuine from the heart, with no expectation of I'm holding this over your head, you owe me, that kind of stuff, then yeah, I think it was a great show of investment in the future.
I think you have to, when you do things like that, you definitely have to check your motives. And this is where when we're talking about being self-aware, this is a part of being self-aware. Like, why are you doing this for this person? Is this investment because you know that you're going to be able to break bread with this person when they start putting property on here, and y'all just going to be able to invest together? Like, what are your motives behind whatever it is that you choose to do? Because like they've already said, it's your money. You do what you want to do because you're grown.
Yeah.
That's as Tabitha Brown say, Miss Tara Wall, it's your business.
Yes. We have a comment on IG from Thiesman, and he says, love the fact that she gifted the land, but my first thought was, why isn't our name on the deed?
That's a good question.
Maybe she didn't want it. Maybe that's not the real estate she wanted. I don't know. Because I can't remember where he's from.
It's Memphis.
Is it Memphis?
Oh, yeah. It was
Well, then I
wouldn't want that either. I'm sorry from Memphis.
It's one of the murder capitals. It's one of them. I'm good.
Yeah, see, and the funny thing about deeds is that your name can be added to the deed later on. So her name may not be on the deed today, but should they decide to take their relationship in a different direction, and actually, become a domestic partnership or married, depending upon wherever they live, you can always add your name to the deed later. The thing about adding your name to the deed now is if we do break up, now we have an issue on separating assets.
Right.
And then I think it's also a good faith gesture because I don't want nothing from you.
That too.
Right.
Because I'm the girlfriend, take all this stuff back. Take it all back. I will mail it to you. But that's me because I don't like having people's possessions with me that meant me harm or something like that. But she really may have been like, this is specifically for him, so what do I have to do with it other than purchasing it?
Yeah, and so someone else said, investing in your mate is investing in our future together. You or I come up, we both come up.
Amen.
I agree.
Spoken from the real estate guru.
Okay.
My sister.
Okay.
Mom had a thing on her. She said, have y'all all heard of Tabitha Brown, which we have.
I have definitely tried some of her recipes that are delicious.
She's cold-blooded. And she goes on to say, if so, what do you think about Wendy Williams' issue with her? I think Wendy Williams is struggling with her lot in life right now, and it was from a place of bitterness. because she did something similar with her husband, but the problem is that Wendy Williams picked a man that was not equally yoked to her. He wasn't pulling his weight the way he needed to pull his weight, and she was allowing a lot of things to be permissible. Versus you look at Tabitha and Chance Brown. Chance supported his wife her entire career up until 2.5-3 years ago when they started making money. Now Miss Tabitha, Auntie Tab, is just out here
doing
getting
business.
And the fact that she said, I want to retire my husband from the police academy, knowing he's a black man, and every time he put on that suit, there's a chance that he ain't coming back for multiple reasons.
Oh, for sure.
And I think what she didn't know, because Wendy Williams don't do her research, she do her me search. She don't get her stuff together. Shout out to Conscious Lee, but Chance has been doing stuff outside of being a police officer. The things that he's going to be doing is dedicating more time to the stuff that he already has. Like he has a basketball league that he started where he helps people be able to do certain things. So I think she bitter, and Godspeed to her, because she is not doing well. She is currently in the hospital. Yeah. For some mental health related issues, as well as some substance abuse related issues. So we do send love and light out to her.
Absolutely.
Well, that was one of the things that Dr. Strickland and I were talking about the other day. One of the things about addicts, because you just said that she relapsed, one of the things that about addicts is they have to have chaos around them. So to me, agreeing with you with the bitterness part, but that also allows her to have chaos around her.
Yeah.
So if she's gonna she needed something to pick on to be able to keep up the negative behavior that comes along with addiction. So that was gonna be, she needed someone, and Tabitha Brown just so happened to be the popular person at that point in time for her to be able to choose to pick on. Yeah. And the thing about what Tabitha Brown did about retiring her husband, she said she was retiring him from the police department so that he can fulfill his dreams. She was tired of him not being able to fulfill his dreams.
Because she got to do hers for 15 years.
Exactly. So it wasn't like if she decided to, that's her business, like she say. But it wasn't like she was trying to retire him just to be able to live off of their money.
He ain't got to be a house husband.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with being a house husband if that's the agreement that y'all have in y'all home. True. But she acting like this man just sorry. Like this man
is leeching off of her.
Yeah. Right. And he gave up a lot of stuff to follow his wife from the East Coast to the West Coast. Like, he was in the musical industry. He probably was about to really take off. Like, she just, when you look at Wendy Williams, you can tell she got something on her that ain't good. The addiction, her energy is off. Like, and it's sad because you really know that if Wendy Williams was operating at her, like, peak, sister would be cold-blooded. Yeah. She has a great following. Yes, she's in kind of a messy industry, but people like to know what's going on with the people that they admire. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and that's the other thing that I was saying. Like, in order for her to stay sober, have a chance rather of staying sober, she's gonna have to get out of that type of industry. Like, she's gonna have to get into another type of show where it can be a cooking show, it can be a decorating show, it don't matter. But that messy drama, that it keeps her in chaos, and that's gonna keep her close to her addictive behaviors.
Yeah. And anybody back in the day that has talked about her, they say that she was always a good disc jockey DJ. That's what that DJ means. Like, and then she just went this route, but she's always been into the narcotics and other things like that. Mom also asked, how do we feel about her Tab's response? I thought her response was beautiful. Yeah. It was a beautiful,
very eloquent
read from a place of, I'm setting my boundary and I wish you would step over it, but it was from, a place of love. Yeah. She didn't annihilate that woman. She did not, put her down. Or I mean, like, derogatory. She didn't, like,
she didn't put her
poke
down.
fun at her. Because whenever you need to say something to somebody that has harmed you, I don't need to tear you down for you to be put back in your spot.
Right.
So Kim said that is what a married couple does, build each other up. And you're absolutely correct. If you're in a healthy version of a marriage, you don't tear each other down, you build each other up. And I think that was one of the things that Wendy, it's sad when you try to look out at something and you see an opposite reflection of what is going on in your own life.
Or what you wanted to happen in your life.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you see what you want, but you can't grasp it.
Yeah.
At least where she's at right now, or
Yeah.
at that time, you can't grasp that thing, and it makes you wonder, like, well, what's going on with me? Why I can't capture what it is that these individuals have.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going on behind closed doors between Chance and Tab, but you can tell that there's a genuine connection between the two of them, that they've exerted patience with one another, that they really developed a plan for their life and executed on a plan.
And he's so appreciative of everything. Like, you can tell that Chance is the introvert of their relationship, and he'd be so like, Tab, I don't want to do that. Tab, come on now. Tab.
Well, and the thing that I like about him is that he's very supportive of her. She's big and he's not, but he will definitely try the recipes. And he typically, sometimes, most of I think all of the ones that I've seen, he's like that. So, I definitely can appreciate. So that's one of the things that Wendy needed to look at as well. Their relationship, I'm sure, because every relationship is different, I'm sure their relationship was different than yours. So I'm sure they had, things set up completely different from the way you up. And so she can't compare herself to this marriage. That's a dangerous, we talked about comparisons. That's a dangerous place to live. Comparing yourself with another, anything, marriage, person, situation, job, whatever. That's a dangerous place to live in.
That's why I said, let me stay in my financial lane.
I'm not in a tax bracket
at all.
or none of that.
I mean, I want to be. I'm not going to lie. It would be nice to be, but I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
Man. Okay.
We do have some, I'm going to have to get up, everybody, because I can't see. I'm blind. So we do have some comments on IG. And I missed a whole bunch. Let me get my life together, Lord. So Trishana, the Gales, said Tab and Wendy are also two very different women with seemingly different outlooks and moves in life.
Yes.
She goes on to say, and it shows, knowing your lane and being self-aware is key.
Yeah.
Then Shady Brooks Vibe says the things, let me get my eyes together. The things he's doing is directly connected to his true purpose, which is a win-win for their marriage. And then Shantae Wright says, let me, it's coming up. It's moving slow. Okay. Wendy needed someone to bully. She just picked the wrong one. Wendy came from a place of hurt and pain.
Yeah. And if you come from a place of hurt and pain and you don't come from a place of genuineness, it makes your argument that much weaker, and it makes it that much easier to break down your argument. Just like Tab, she did not need to come at her. How some people typically come at Wendy when she says various things, on her show or even online. Yeah. But when you come from a place of truth, there's nothing for you to shout from the rooftop about.
Well, and that's the thing. That's how you know that Wendy was being messy, because she could have, if she was concerned for Tabitha for doing that, she could have definitely addressed it in a completely different way. It did not have to. We wouldn't be having this conversation, because if she would have come from a place of love and a place of concern, but even still, it's not your business.
No, it's not your business. And we can tell from past situations, like with Nene Leakes. And Nene Leakes supposed to be your girl, and you out here outing all her information and business to where she stopped talking to you. You know what I mean? R.I.P. to her husband, Greg Leaks, who recently lost his battle with cancer. But, she's not in a good place. I don't necessarily think, from what we see, that she's necessarily malicious. But
Wendy,
mm-hmm. The intent, but the way she do stuff, it be malicious.
And it seemed intentional.
Yeah.
So it's rough,
It is.
So I have a question.
Okay. All right.
Why do women want to have children by men who can't be responsible for themselves?
Ooh.
And then, since we do have our male listener, Dante, here, I do want to ask you a question, too. Why do men have unprotected intimacy moments with women when you can't be responsible for yourself? When you are not responsible for yourself?
Oh, that got my heart beating so fast.
So we going to let Dante get his thoughts together. But I honestly think the overlining thing is people are not living intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the grand scheme of life, it actually is very difficult to get pregnant. But because you're going off of instinct, mm-hmm. it becomes very easy to get pregnant. Because you're listening to your body. Y'all like that body roll?
Now they can see your body roll.
So it's like, okay, I'm feeling all the things. Mm-hmm. Let me connect with this trash human. And at the time, he may not be a trash human.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trish, because she said it all the time. But I don't think we live intentionally, so it allows us to have a very hazardous and haphazard life.
Yeah. I think, we don't have healthy ideas and views of what relationships are. We go a lot off of what we see our friends do, what we saw our parents do, what we see on movies and TV. So when it comes to knowing how to pick a person that is of quality for you, that you don't know what you're looking for, you don't know what you want or what you need, so then you end up like you said, living haphazardly and not intentionally, because you don't even know what you don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then I would add to that, we tend to fall in
lust.
Yes.
Don't
even say that. Lust.
Plenty of hookups that have turned into marriages.
Yes.
All
That should have
these sneaky
stayed
links.
hookups.
So y'all already knew where I was going. I didn't even have to finish. But we tend to fall in lust with representatives. And, men and women, not just men and women can put on a good front for the first month or two. And then by that time, you're pregnant. But that's why I asked Dante the question as well. Because why are you, unprotected?
Has he said anything yet? Because if not, we got some people on the IG.
I would say, so one thing I would add to what you were saying about kind of how people end up having children with people that are not really great quality people that have children.
Trash humans. Dumpster juice.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Trish again.
All of that. Is people want to be loved. If you
Yes.
have an unlovability complex, then you become desperate in a lot of ways. So that will make
Attachment issues.
for sure.
Yeah.
You will choose partners that are vastly unhealthy for you, or you will try to have a child so that you can feel whatever
That
void.
unconditional love.
Right, because you believe, they can't leave me.
Yeah.
So, they will love me. So I think a lot of people end up having, some people end up having children to fill that up.
Yeah.
So then why they complain about the baby daddy?
Because he's still not what is needed.
But you didn't want it for that. You want it for the unconditional love.
They didn't realize how hard it was going to be.
So
Trish,
we do have some answers, but go ahead.
So Trish on IG said, "Hey, trash human in a body roll made it to the live." Then Shantae Wright says, "Women think they'll be the one to change them, to make him better. Instead of focusing on what they see, they focus on what they hope." And then Trishana says again, "It boils down to unhealthy attachments. They entice us to risk it all. Hashtag woo child.
That risk it all.
Yes.
I'm
that
not risking
attachment.
nothing. I don't have anything.
So, Navante, I hope that I pronounced that right.
It's Bubs.
Okay. He said, for me, it was insecurity and wanting to feel secure, which is wrong. Okay.
Okay, insightful little brother.
We love to see it.
Okay. And then Dante did respond. He said, in my case, I had to grow as a father because I didn't know anything about that. It may be that the guy is a trash guy, but his excuse, well, wait a minute, but his excuse would be, I didn't have an example coming up. Wow.
Got you.
And both of those are correct.
Both of those are correct, but I'm gonna give a shout out to both of our men listeners that just commented. Like, they are exceptional fathers. And I'm not saying that because one of them is my brother. My brother is parenting children that are not his. He doesn't have any biological children, and he takes care of 3 children, and he does a beautiful job of that. And then with Dante, I've known Dante for years, and he has always loved and cherished his children, despite the fact of not having a great example of that in his life. So, you know, it comes a point where, are you going to be that man that, I've made a mistake and didn't protect myself in this situation, but I'm definitely going to step up and take care of my babies.
So shout out to all the fathers out there and to the single mothers.
But I agree with both of our guys. You know, not having an example, you start flying by the seat of your pants, and you just make it up as you go. And if you're just making things up as you go, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes along the way, and bump your head.
Thing.
Yeah. And then the hope with that is that you take those lessons and you take the things that worked, you leave the stuff that didn't, and then you start creating your, you know, policy and procedure manual for your life.
Your blueprint.
Yeah, thank you. Your blueprint. That you start creating that in a way that is effective for you, so that you can be the best version of yourself. So when you are ready to meet your soulmate or whatnot, that you are in a position to be able to be the best version for them.
Yeah. I agree.
Dante on Facebook also says lust, alcohol, and peer pressure could also lead to unprotected sex. Love is never there when it is rushed.
Ooh, you ain't said nothing but a word,
Come
sir.
on, spitting them words.
Okay.
And then we have some more on IG. Shoshana Said It says, after a while, lacking an example can make men become the example they always needed. And then also goes on to say, and that's really beautiful. I agree with that. As someone who is, I am a fatherless daughter, I definitely attest to that. Like, at some point, you know, there has to be a step up, or it has to be just completely vanished.
Yeah.
Because that in between, just, it don't feel good to the kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's that revolving door type of relationship that you have. That's unhealthy, because you you start to question. You know, well, why does he stay away but then come back? But then that's so confusing.
Yeah,
I agree.
And unproductive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all got some more questions concerning any of the topics or a topic of your own? Thanks for the questions that we already had.
Yeah.
You know, we love to hear from y'all and get y'all's questions, because y'all be acting up in these comments sometimes.
Man, we love it, because y'all know we a little wild too. You know, so just piggybacking until we kind of get some stuff.
I had Normani's song. Dun, 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 dun. I was like, Wild Side.
Oh yeah, that's a good song. Just kind of piggybacking on some of what we were already just talking about. Made me lose my train of thought. I'm thinking about body rolls and stuff. Lord have
Y'all should
mercy.
be used to that by now.
I don't even know what I was about to say now.
Well, while you think about it, we're going to take something from Mama Wall.
Okay.
She says, I stopped dating after my son was born because I had a skewed vision of what love and sex was after being raped and molested. So I focused on healthy relationships with my children. Oh, Mom, I'm so proud of you for sharing that with the other interns, because that takes a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
To share your story when it's something like that. So I'm so proud of you. And I think a lot of women and men do that. There comes a point where it's like, I gotta shut all this stuff down because I'm not in a good place. You just have to make sure you balance it out and it doesn't become I'm becoming a hermit or I'm becoming a recluse. You have to be like, let me think about how I want to show up in this world even when I'm not in a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you think of it now?
I did actually.
Okay.
So I saw in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in this morning, somebody had posted like this meme or a question or something from Twitter, and they were talking about like being friend zoned, like men being friend zoned, and the frustration that men feel being friend zoned. But then the second half of that was the woman was like, but nobody talks about women being sex zoned. And like all of the like how you just use my body as a
receptacle.
Yes. And the back and forth that kind of happens with that. And I thought that was an interesting concept because I was like, I have never thought about that or even considered that men and women or individuals do that to one another. One person gets like, oh, you're so sweet, oh yes, and then the other person is like, okay, it's 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning that you get that what you doing text.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
Now mind you, I've been married for a long time, so I know nothing of these things. But I hear this on the streets.
Yeah. What I would say when it comes to the friend zone thing, I think it's okay to like have your feelings hurt and to feel the feelings of rejection and things of that nature. So I'm not saying that that's bad, but I think when you end up forcing the issue of you being friend zoned, it's like you don't want this girl to consent. You're forcibly trying to make her or whoever, you're forcibly trying to make this individual be yours when she don't want to be yours. At the end of the day, either you can take this friendship or you can take nothing. And there has to be some understanding of that in our cultures of like, just because you are visually stimulated by the way the person looks, it does not mean that they are supposed to be your significant other. It doesn't mean that they are supposed to be your wife or your husband or your whatever. I think there needs to be some understanding of that. And then I saw something similar to that on the TikToks where it was talking about how women who are not as visually desirable as some women, they get put in the sex zone.
Wait, say that one more time.
Women who are not as attractive as some women get put in the friend zone. I mean, not the friend zone, the sex zone, because that's all the person deems them good for. And they're not realizing that that's what's popping up or that's where they're being put until it's too late and they've already caught feelings.
I think the thing about friend zone is timing. Because I've friend zoned several men. But I think it's because the chemistry just wasn't there. So that's a reason. But you were cool people. You just wasn't more than that for me.
Yeah.
And then it took you too long to make your move. So I used to tell men all the time, I'm not going to assume anything. You're going to have to tell me everything. So if you want to be with me, if you're trying to, be something more than a friend, you're going to have to tell me. So if you wait until a whole year from now, you're already my friend, sir. No, sir. We're done. We're done with the romantic part.
What they say, closed mouths don't get fed.
So for me, I think it's about timing and chemistry.
Yeah. I mean, but sometimes you can even have bomb chemistry, but maybe it's just not going to be the most healthiest relationship or be the type of romantic relationship that y'all both need.
But see, you talking about people that's healthy. Everybody don't think like that, Dr.
I know, but I'm talking from the healthy perspective.
Stop throwing that in. No,
the other side of that is the people who lie in wait to get the friend who has friends on them. And I'm like, what in the predator is going on?
This reminds me of The Nice Guy.
Yes.
We talked about The Nice Guy before.
With Miss Gales.
Yes. That makes me think about, like you said, just waiting in the shadows and
I think that's how they become the receptacle. If it's a woman, it can be a man too. Mm-hmm. Because I'll do anything to get this moving in the trajectory that I want it to go.
Both sides of that. Dante says on Facebook, wow, the friend zone. Then says true story, and then says I would rather be in the friend zone and have a true friend rather than a forced relationship and be enemies in the end. You better be out here rhyming.
Oh, with the insight today, Dante.
Yeah. Because Dante, for real, because I told you I've friend zoned several. It was certain ones that would try to force the relationship, and see, I'm not one of them. I'm not that one. So
it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, it makes my flesh crawl. Like, I didn't see you as somebody I can't be safe around.
Right. And so now I'm done. Like, the friendship is over, and now I'm ghosting you because I've already told you that I don't want to do nothing but be your friend. No, we're done. Everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not okay.
I don't know why people make the friend zone such a taboo.
I know.
A taboo
I don't
thing.
think there's anything wrong with the friend zone.
Unless you polyamorous, it ain't really too many romantic spots.
Right?
I mean,
it's just one at a time if you're not poly.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, Mr. Ma'am, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And why are you throwing an adult tantrum because you can't have what you want?
Yeah.
Somebody didn't teach you manners in kindergarten.
Yeah. And that's scary for people to try and force you into something that you don't want to be in. And I wonder how many people actually go along with it.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot, especially because we live in a society where, although we have a lot of rights as women, we don't practice them. And we do a lot of things to stay safe. I know I've had some clients and I have some friends who have went along with something just to get out and make it to the next day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, that whole giving somebody a phone number so that they don't assault you in the club or assault you out. Like, I'm 5'2".
At the gas station.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm 5'2". Like, I can do some things that we're not gonna talk about on live, but I can't fight with my fist every dude that come up to me. That's not gonna end well for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, how do I get out of this the easiest way? And a lot of times it's like, okay, let me give you my Google number.
It was just like that night we went out for Trish's birthday, and the guy came and grabbed my hand and I was like, I don't feel like fighting in this club. Did you
see me catch myself? She married. I said, I need to calm down. I'm getting real rah-rah, and this is not the group of women that we need to get rah-rah with, because we all can be hotheads.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, we all real protective about ours.
Right. And but I was trying to make sure we stayed safe. I
let me do a little ditty with him and sit back down.
Right. Let me just do a dip. Face to face dip. And I told my husband, he knows. And he was like, okay, babe, whatever you got to do to keep yourself safe when I'm not with you. All right. So.
Yeah. On IG, Trishana says, the friend zone is such a wonderful place to safely drop pushy men. I'm being so forward so you don't friend zone me. Sir, may you rest in ashy pieces in the zone of friends. Hashtag RIP, coffin emoji, and I can't see what the other emoji is, but that's hilarious.
It looks like roses, maybe?
It's dead roses. My best friend crazy.
I love her.
I absolutely love you, Trish.
I love Trish. So
yeah,
funny.
but they really be trying it. Like, Trish and I have had many situations where we have been out and ain't nothing but the Lord said, Nichelle, just go get somebody Just go get somebody because I was like, I'm gonna go.
Or being out and done like, oh no, we together. I'm sorry.
We go together.
You know,
sexually.
Yeah.
This is my boo.
Okay.
For life. Okay. You see her engagement ring is just a band because that's all I could afford right now. But she waiting on her carrots. Okay. Like I don't play that.
Yes. Yeah.
We poly. We all together.
Okay.
All of us. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Let me get in. No. You don't have the right parts.
And that's how strong you gotta be.
Yes.
Like,
Are you sure? Yes, sir. But thank you for
so
thinking
I
I'm
can't
beautiful.
get in. So I can't get in on that.
Not no.
I'm allergic.
I'm allergic to what comes out of you, sir.
Or you don't want no friends.
I don't have any places for that.
Yeah.
Like y'all, it's scary sometimes.
Yeah. The things that
is.
women have to go through to get men to back away, and some women too.
Yes.
That too.
Now I won't lie. There has been times where I did go ahead and let the Scorpio out of me in them situations.
Go, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sting them a little bit.
With the hollow points.
Oh. See.
Yeah.
Is the wine kicking in?
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
It's not. Look, I still got.
Look, I'm
I had the least amount.
I'm like, Lord. Well, I'm trying not to look like a.
I mean, you can open it. It's there.
A heavy drinker.
It's
Let me
there.
say that.
Melanin Skin Studios has the rolling on the floor laughing emojis, and then Trishana said it says #we go together.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I love it. I love it.
Did y'all have any other questions or like topics that y'all wanted to discuss tonight? Because we try to give y'all at least an hour and a half or more on the This Broad Lives.
Yeah.
And while you all are thinking about that, also think about other topics that you want us to discuss on the regular sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the list that we got from y'all last time was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we
some
haven't
of
gone
those-
through all of them yet. We're trying.
Right.
We're
But
combining them.
some of those are definitely waiting in the wing,
Mhm.
coming up because they were
Mhm.
such good topics. And the movies as well.
Yeah.
So we are already putting some of those to use. I know one of our interns suggested personality disorders. That's coming up next month.
Ooh.
And
should we give them the sneak?
go on, give them the sneak.
Go ahead.
So, man, the word of the day is narcissist. Are you ready, kids? Like, that, I think next month is going to be one that y'all will really enjoy. We hope y'all have enjoyed everything that we've done so far.
Mhm.
But this one, we are doing a serious deep dive into
Yeah.
narcissism.
So that means you're going to talk about me, you're going to talk about you, and you're going to talk about you? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I ain't one to
Yes.
gossip.
I'm just kidding. I'm not calling us narcissists.
I don't have the energy to be a narcissist.
Man.
I know.
But we definitely think that that's going to be one that y'all are interested in. We hope it's going to be a serious deep dive into narcissism, the different types of narcissism.
Relationships.
Being with someone, being raised by one, and how the impact of all of that is on you in your adulthood. So we hope that that's one.
And the
will be
movie.
educational and helpful.
The movie is No Good Deed with the beautiful Idris Elba. He's just so chocolatey. He is. He's really a good chocolatey, rich colored man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He don't be ashy when he be on TV.
At
His
all.
lips don't be ashy either.
Yes, Mr. Idris. Although in this movie he's speaking in an English accent. I mean, American English, not British English accent.
Yes.
I only see him speaking his British English language when he's doing interviews.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has maybe one or two movies that he does speak in his actual accent, but most of his movie characters are American.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So Mama Wall has posted a question. Her question is, what are our professional thoughts on the abortion issues? Are you saying the ones that are currently going on in Texas?
Because I got a lot to say. I bet I need to think about it so I can make it professional.
That's the thing. It's making it professional, not personal.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'll go first since this is kind of in my vein of therapy anyway. So what's currently going on in the state of Texas is that the time limit has been moved up to 6 weeks. No individual that is able to give birth will be able to have an abortion after 6 weeks. Also, any professional cannot advise anybody to get an abortion. That means education about it, anything. So, professionally, that is going to cause a lot of issues because it is going to be additional trauma to the body, because not everybody that has an abortion is having the abortion because they just don't want a kid. Some people have been molested and raped. Some people, they go ahead and have an early termination due to things that are going on with the baby, where it's either the mother or the child. So I do think mother mortality is going to rise. People are still going to get their terminations regardless of the law. We're just going to go back to the way things were and the way things are in many other countries outside of America, where it just be the shaman in the back alley doing the procedure versus in certain environment. So I think that's something that is really going to be an interesting look going forward. So
sorry guys,
it hurts my heart a little bit because I'm not a fan of other people policing what other people do. And I'm not saying from the perspective of me infringing my rights on anybody or you infringing your rights on me. I'm saying from the perspective of I have full autonomy and agency over myself. I'm not in a mental crisis. I know how to do things on a day-to-day basis. So it's kind of,
I mean, I don't know if I could have said it any better than that, actually.
Well, I got something to say.
Say it.
So I definitely agree with everything that Dr. Wall just said, because that's the key right there. But my thing is, I don't understand how a group of men can tell women what to do with their bodies. Why aren't you telling men that they either, one, need to have vasectomies until they get married, or two, I need to have permission to be able to sue any man who will get me pregnant if we ain't talking about you have permission to get me pregnant. So I don't understand. So this is going to cause a big problem, because if I was still single and I got pregnant, I'm about to be banking, because I'm about to have somebody baby and I'm suing you.
Somebody in one of those discussions said, how would you feel about child support starting at the hour of conception?
The hour of conception.
I said, okay.
But the thing about that is they don't get it after the baby.
No, but I'm saying, like, she was going from the perspective of, like, what would that look like if we're talking about more accountability, more responsibility, and taking ownership of what has occurred. How would that work? Like, how, like, there's so many questions that I have when people who make rules about folks that they don't understand, like, how do y'all come up with these things?
Right.
Like, what does the literature say about doing this way? Because then at the same time, people who are passing these laws, and I'm not on either side, I'm not gonna say what my personal opinion is, they'll go and say, well, I don't want to wear a mask because it's my body, my choice. Huh.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So
my
it
body,
only
my
worked
right.
when you want it to work.
Right.
Like, that's the epitome of being a
Insane.
hypocrite.
Yeah.
So it's just weird, and I don't think somebody was talking to me about a lot of social things and how there has been a decline in Caucasian children being born.
Oh, I heard that.
And so
I heard that too.
they are assuming that the majority of people who get terminations are people of color.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the statistics, we are not, for many reasons, whether it is religious beliefs, whether it is financial things, like whatever the situation may be. That's not something that we typically run out to do. So it's going to be interesting as we continue to unpack these things and continue to just figure some stuff out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how all of this begin to play out years on end, because I don't think that women are going to abide by it.
No. Not at all.
No, the one in Mexico was overturned last week or the week before. So people, we are no longer pieces of property.
Right.
Like, we are a full citizen. We're
Right.
not a part citizen, and I'm meaning from a woman's perspective as well as a black person's perspective. Like, we are no longer property, so we have the ability to make change.
Yeah.
We just have to get to a place where we are courageous and ready to implement some of those things.
Oh, I'm sure there are some that's already conjuring some stuff up.
Well,
It's just a matter of time before it come out. I'm sorry, Dr. Strick.
No, you're fine. I was reading an article where there was a doctor, I don't know where they were in Texas, but the night before this was passed, I think they performed 60 some odd terminations just to be able to assist women, because they knew that, you know,
at 12 midnight.
At midnight that you know, that they would not be able to, you know, perform the procedure anymore. And that's a sad thing that you like, one, I can't imagine the professional, the doctor, having to perform that many back to back.
Yeah. And
And then the women, you know, likely being crammed together in a small office or in a room. They're all emotional. You know, that is a huge decision for a person to make.
Yeah.
You know, even if the reason is I just don't want to have a child, it is not a flippant decision that the average, you know, birthing individual makes. You know, there's a lot of toiling and stress that goes into deciding whether or not you're going to go through with something like that.
Yeah.
And then to be like, well, you don't have any more time. It needs to be today, or it's not happening.
And you guys say most
Especially
people
when
don't
women
know.
don't know. Go
Like,
ahead.
we don't. Some of us who are very intuitive with our bodies, we know something is not right, or we pregnant. But for the majority of people in the world who have wombs, like, there are people who didn't know they was pregnant till they gave birth.
Okay.
And then you have a third category of women who they may be in tune with their body, but if they're like active and they work out and stuff like that, they're not
gonna have the same symptoms.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's gonna show up on them different.
it's just it almost brings tears to my eyes, because I already have clients who are trying to figure some things out, and my hands are professionally tied with what information I can give them.
Yeah.
You know, we do have some comments on IG.
Okay.
Melanin Skin Studio has I think that's the ear emojis up for listening. And then Trishana says, I find it funny that a nation so crazy about their rights, especially amended rights, are so quick to relinquish the rights of women. It's just interesting. She goes on to say, exactly. If you don't have the part, don't speak the part. Hashtag, do you have a vagina? And then
No.
Peasman says, the day this was announced was a sad day in history for the women in Texas.
Yeah.
The toxic person in me wanted to flatten the tires of his wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
And you and probably a lot of other people wanted to do that.
Because it was one story with a young lady. She had gone to the doctor the day before to have hers done, but something happened and she had to end up having to come back the next day. And when she came back, she couldn't get it.
6 weeks, 1 day.
Yep.
And I guarantee what's about to happen is all these babies gonna be 4 weeks old.
Wow. And there's going to be a lot of abandoned children.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're going to put this law in place, what else are you putting on the other side of the birth? Because a lot of people are not pro-life. They are pro-birth.
Yes.
There is a difference.
And so it's not like I have set up these things in order to help children and mothers be good or whatever. Like, I've had conversations personally and professionally with women who are married who have to terminate. So this is not just a single person situation. This is not just a married person, people of color, non-people of color. This affects everybody, men and women.
Yeah.
You know?
No. Yeah. No, I agree.
Man.
Whew, make me boil a little bit.
Deep topics.
I know. Yeah. We may have to elaborate on this one day because that's a heavy topic.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely want to talk to more of our women listeners to get some of your takes on it.
Now, do y'all have any other things that y'all are wanting from us in the podcast? Any topics that have been sizzling in your spirit or any of that? Because we always want to make sure that we give y'all the opportunity to share things that y'all want to hear. And we'll give y'all a few minutes to think about that.
Man. Let's see. You know what? While they're thinking about this, you know what I realized today during this live? It's not burning up in here.
I know.
Thank goodness.
Well,
it's fall.
It was hot as fish grease in here the last time we were in here. And I was like, dang, I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt today. What was I thinking?
I got a jacket on.
It was like, oh my God. Oh man, it turned out to be an okay choice.
Yes. Interns, let us know what you're thinking.
And you can always, if you don't get your question or your topic or movie topic in, you can always put it in the comment section.
And we'll see it later.
Yeah, we'll see it later.
And we want to give you a few more minutes because we know there's normally a lag in the feed.
Man. Well, we're definitely excited.
Yes.
To have done this again.
I still love these.
And while we're waiting, y'all make sure that y'all are sharing and liking and commenting on our posts and different things, because we're starting to get a little pickup from some people, some celebrities and different things like that. But we really want to spread what we're talking about and reach the masses. And so we can't do that without you guys and without y'all's help. So we really would appreciate it. So if you follow us on one platform, be sure to follow us on another platform.
Yes.
So
and comment.
We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we are on pretty much everywhere except for Tidal that streams music. So please just do those little things. Like, your support can be so small, but it can mean so much.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot, just in case you all were wondering, so I wear my little hats, you know, I like my little hats and stuff, you know. So I'm letting y'all in on my secrets, because, you know, I have secret stores that I like to shop at, but I'm gonna let y'all in on my secrets. So this is my little. Last time I had a fedora hat on, and that one was from Apricot Lane. And this one is a little tennis hat, and you see it has the little orange. Am I in the thing, y'all?
Yeah, you
in all.
Okay, so you have the little orange back here, and it's pretty. I like it. It's pretty comfortable. Actually, I didn't have to,
It's green.
And it's
green.
And it's green. Mm-hmm.
You said orange.
I didn't know it's green. I don't know. Hey, you don't know. You don't never know what color I have on, but it is green. I did not realize I said orange. But and it's green under here as well, and it's comfortable. So I got this one from my store, Anthropology.
Cause I'm definitely listening. Cause she be even with me, guys. She don't be wanting to tell me neither.
Because I take her. I just take her. I don't even have to because she ain't gonna go without me. Cause they usually far. So I take her. So
She be hoarding stuff.
I do.
Okay.
But this is from Anthropology. So, and for you all who live in Texas, I don't know if it's an Anthropology anywhere else. I do know there's one in Fort Worth off of University, just in case. And they do sell different types of hats.
And just piggybacking on Dr. Jones-Hines here, I'm trying something a little bit different today. So everybody, these three ladies know that I love all things nude.
Yes.
When it comes to lips, shoes, and I just love flesh tone colored things. However, they are pushing me outside of my comfort zone. So I'm wearing forest green lipstick by Kuckian.
Oh, okay.
Can you spell it for the?
Yes, Kuckian. And this is the color Forest. Oh shoot! I just said it too. Hold on. Let me do like 2014. There you go. Lord, can you do that? 2014, guys. There you go. This is the color of Forbidden Forest.
I'm sorry.
Helps having a name like Kuckian too.
Oh, we got some stuff coming in. I'm sorry.
Okay.
IG, I'm sorry. I'm slacking on my job. Trishana says, have you guys ever covered politics and mental health? Well, we will next month because they all narcissistic. No, we haven't covered it yet. She also says it's crazy out here. Nori Rods, aka Nora Rodriguez, let me get my R's together, is giving us some clap emojis. Trishana said it says political narcissism ? Is that a thing? Because the nation is burning.
Good question.
Then NicoleDesigns.co says, OMG, it's so cool to see y'all. Please do these again.
Yes, girl.
We definitely will.
Yes.
And then Deesman says, is couples therapy a thing prior to issues popping up to keep things running smoothly? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I always
The
say
short answer is yes.
Yes, and I mean, especially with couples therapy, y'all just want to have a space where y'all can talk about anything, discuss stuff as it comes up. Also, kind of plan the relationship. I don't mean like from a rigid standpoint, but you want to be able to be like, this is where I intend for us to go. These are some issues that I've had in past relationships, and I want to work on them before they come up.
And I always say that everybody needs to have a therapist on speed dial.
Yes.
Because you never know, because it's not necessarily big things that come up for couples that they come to therapy for. It's the little things that they can't. It's like, I just can't seem to get over him leaving his clothes on the floor. Yeah, it's those little things.
Oh, I feel seen.
Yeah, but definitely, I mean, the purpose of therapy is to eventually be preventative, not just from a place of crisis.
Yeah.
And so, it's definitely okay to, you find somebody that you really like, and hey, you okay with therapy? They say no, leave. They, don't stay in that. But if they're like, yeah, we can definitely set something up, and you can probably come like once a month.
Yeah.
Probably not even that if you really don't have any significant problems coming up, excuse me. But yeah, I think it would definitely be something good to do.
I agree.
Agreed.
Well, I don't think we have any more on Facebook. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, do we have any more IG?
Tara Mama Wall says, can you please do color purple for MMB? It's on the list.
It's on the list.
Yes.
We gotta get, that's a tough one, though.
Yes, we got to get our spirits right.
We got to get our spirits right, and we also have to figure out what's going to come before that, because we try to make sure that our movies tie in with the content that we discussed prior.
And there's so much in that movie.
We have to figure out, like, which topics we want to address.
It's a long movie, too.
Yes.
So, y'all be ready. You know, them long movies be long MMBs.
Because the 5 Heartbeats was 3 hours.
That took us. I said, how our MMB was twice as long as the movie.
But y'all know y'all like that. We got some good reviews on MMB this past month. This month, which was the 5 Heartbeats. So if you have not checked out that, you need to go check it out, because we was acting up as usual.
Yes.
Thiesman says hashtag speed dial. You know y'all charge too much for that. So your insurance will pay for that. If you do need a private pay session, you may call us at Balance Beacon, and we will see what we can do. Okay. Balance Beacon.
Balance Beacon number is 214-396-6503. I will say it again.
That's
214-396-6503.
We're so in tune with one another.
NicoleDesigns.co says, man, feels like I'm talking to all my therapists. I promise I don't need 3 therapists. Hey, just as long as you go for a different problem on each of them.
There you go.
And Trishana is laughing with multiple emojis.
Okay.
But if y'all don't have anything else, let's do a final little check and make sure.
We want to say thank you to Mama Wanda.
Yes, the mamas in the building.
And the aunties.
And the sisters and the brothers.
Yes.
And the friends.
Everybody.
And the interns.
Of course. Of course.
Okay.
I think we are good. So, of course, we have to close out with a quote, and I believe Dr. Jones-Hines got it today.
And this quote is brought to you by dreamsquote.com. And it says, life goes on, whether you choose to move on and take a chance in the unknown or stay behind, locked in the past, thinking of what could have been.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Remember, next month's about narcissism. So y'all be ready for that, because we're doing a deep dive. And thank y'all for joining us.
Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
Bye, guys.
And it says, life goes on, whether you choose to move on and take a chance in the unknown or stay behind, locked in the past, thinking of what
It's okay, interns. Process your notes. Be sure to catch us next session and find us on all major platforms at the RePsychled Podcast.
If you're a new intern, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thanks for listening. And remember, we are shifting and reshaping our psyche through healing conversations and connections, one discussion at a time.